Everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Weekly Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Seth, and today we are here to talk about all kinds of cool crap that happened in this wide week of wrestling. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the support as always, as this will be a weekly thing moving forward where we discuss some of the topics that I would like to discuss that happened on Raw, Impact, AEW, NXT, and Smackdown. And also when there are pay-per-views, we will do like a little prediction show, a little prediction thing at the end. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope everybody's having a great night. I know I really didn't think this through very well and pick a great night to start because obviously AEW is on right now and NXT Takeover is on. So did not pick a good night for that. Bad planning on my part, but hey, we're going to work through it. So for whoever is in the chat, thank you for joining right now. I truly appreciate it. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. We've got Kids on the Street. We've got Quack on Crack. We've got the Troll Patrol. We got Rob. What up, Rob? We got Jeff Levine. I went to Bits and Buttons today and found the AEW Cody figure. Congratulations, Jeff. Awesome find. My man, Jason. What is up? AEW on TV, NXT on the laptop, and Seth on the PC, wrestling everywhere. The Troll Patrol. If you smell la 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 la, what Black Adam is cooking. That's right. They had a whole bunch of DC stuff going on today. So let's see. We got Adam Cole, baby. We got Tall Man. We've got my man, Chad. YouTube is 90. What is up, Ronaldo? What is up, Vile? What is up, McButter Golem? What is going on? Triple tasking between AEW, NXT, and MCE. I know, guys, I'm sorry I did not pick a good night for this to happen, but basically what I want to do for those of you that's joining in right now, just give a brief synopsis of the show. Again, if you just missed the first couple of minutes, I am basically going to be recapping some of the highlights that I think are great talking points that happened on Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, AEW. So, yeah. And then also, since SummerSlam is tomorrow, I will be giving you my predictions of who I think is going to win at the end of SummerSlam. So I will be giving you those predictions towards the end of the show. So, guys, let's go ahead. Let's start talking, and I want to hear your opinions on what I'm going to be talking about. So, guys, Monday Night Raw. We're talking about Monday Night Raw. Dude, Retribution. Okay, I'm not quite exactly 100% sold on this gang of so-called misfits in black hoodies and black pants running around, disrupting the camera crew, disrupting everything in WWE. I'm not quite exactly feeling it. I feel like it's been done before with other companies and other storylines. And, you know, that's one of the things that kind of bothers me about WWE is that they just are known for repurposing old storylines. I do believe from some of the rumors that I've heard and some of the things I read that Tommaso Ciampa is going to be the leader of Retribution. And I'm just not quite exactly happy with that. I feel that Tommaso Ciampa should not come up to the main roster as a leader of a faction. I believe he should just be a singles competitor. I hope it's not true from what I read. I hope that is not the case. But, man, it is awesome, that they're – I mean, it's kind of hard to say that it's awesome. I'm glad that they're bringing Tommaso Ciampa up finally to the main roster. But, again, I want to see it as a single competitor. I don't want to see him as a group of leading people. I just don't like that. I feel sometimes when they bring groups up, they get lost in the fray. Then the storylines kind of suck. And yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on Retribution? What do you guys feel about that? So we've got Cigarette Juice Man saying CM Punk sucks. CM Punk does not suck. He's the best in the world, good sir. Thank you. Quack on Crack, the Ninja's Turn. Troll Patrol, I've been watching DC Fandom, McButter. Thanks. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, Troll Patrol. Retribution will be NXT and Involve guys. Yes, I believe that is correct. Quack on Crack, Ciampa versus Tozawa, Ninjas versus Retribution. And we've got CVS AEW. So what are your guys' thoughts on the whole Retribution thing? Do you guys like it? Do you like where the story's going? Do you think it's kind of pointless? Do you think it's going to lead nowhere? What do you guys think? I want to hear your comment. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think? Nothing? I'm getting nothing. Come on, guys. This is supposed to be a talk show. We're supposed to be talking here. We're supposed to be conversing. Nothing. Okay. So with that being said, all right, guys, we are going to go ahead and move on to the next topic to talk about. What do you guys feel about the Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio feud? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think it's an interesting way to bring in Rey Mysterio's son, since he did sign a developmental contract. I don't know if he signed the superstar contract yet, but it is definitely it's definitely interesting to see what the thought process is with that. I don't think that this is the type of person for him to go up against is Seth Rollins. I think he needs to go up against somebody who's a little bit more seasoned than Rollins, since in my opinion, Seth Rollins has a knack for being just a little careless and hurting people, especially after he's basically ended Sting's career. A few other people he hurt. I just don't know. I don't know how I quite exactly feel about that. I think that they, I don't think it's gonna go the way I'm anticipating it to go. I think this storyline is gonna fail. The only way that they can make it work is if Dominic wins the match against Seth Rollins. But then again, you've got Murphy. They said Rey Mysterio was going to be out there. I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio thing? So we got Jason Mirnoff saying Rollins will win. Dominic is to keep Rey around. Rey Mysterio's an OG. Don't care about what people say. Troll, I like Rollins. What's up, Sandra? How you doing? Thanks for joining. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be hit or miss. I don't know, like I said, if Seth Rollins was the right person to pair Dominic Mysterio with. Again, that's just my thoughts. I think they could have maybe done a little bit of a better storyline. Maybe actually even have him do something in NXT and not on the main roster, so at least he can somewhat try to make a name for himself and kind of build himself along. But yeah. Maybe Aleister Black will come back as part of the Rollins group. Interesting. That is very interesting that you say that, because in reality, Aleister's been off the air for quite some time, especially since he had his so-called eye injury with the stare. So I like that. That's actually a really good thought. That is something that could very well be very plausible. Yes, I believe that too. Quack on Crack. It is definitely a bad way to introduce Dominic against a Mania main eventer. Again, they should have brought him against someone a little bit more his speed, and again, it's about working these guys and developing and creating the storylines and getting the fans behind them, so you don't have like another Roman Reigns thing where they're just cramming Roman Reigns down your throat and you get tired and sick of it. I definitely agree with you, Quack on Crack. So, all right. So the next topic from Raw, and I think this is one that most people are going to really get a kick out of talking about. Raw Underground. Raw Underground. That is the biggest waste of crap ever. I mean, talk about filler stuff. Raw Underground. They're having an underground match, street fighting basically, with MMA style in an open ring, no ropes, and Shane McMahon is the ringleader of this. I do not like it at all. I think it is really, really bad. I hope they end it soon, because at 10 o'clock when that comes on, I honestly sometimes feel like just changing the channel because I don't want to watch it because that's how ridiculous it is. It really is. I don't like it at all. I don't like where it's going. There's no storylines. There's no nothing. It's just basically people just. It's basic. You know what Raw Underground basically is? Just to sum it all up, it's for talent that they don't have stories for, but they want to get them on camera. Like Dolph Ziggler, again, one of the most underutilized guys in WWE is Dolph Ziggler. Why are you having him in a street fight with one of the Viking Raiders in Raw Underground? You can be having him do so much better stuff than that. And again, it's a wasting talent. Raw Underground is basically just for them to put the talent on that they don't have storylines for. And I think it's stupid. And I think it's a real waste of time. So probably one of the worst things I've ever seen. I agree. My man, 90, it's Basura. It's trash. Lucky Collectible. It's Underground is trash. Don't make any sense to get other stories. Absolutely. I totally agree. I get it. They've got no fans. They've got no audience. They are absolutely trying their best, to try to fill storylines because there's a lot of talent that is afraid that they don't want to get sick. They don't want to travel. We get it. Yeah, kind of. Well, because, Blazer, she has that MMA background. So yeah, that was a cool way to introduce her, but she's already been introduced and they already screwed up her storyline. She should be the champion right now, in my opinion, but she's not. They have, Bayley and Sasha Banks. So I don't agree with that at all. So moving on to the next topic, and this is the last topic that I'm going to be discussing with Raw. Why do they feel the need to bring back all these old school wrestlers only to get punted by Randy Orton? I understand it's setting up a story, but what story? What story could it possibly be setting up? Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton really don't have any history, so there's really nothing to build up to. So just by Randy Orton punting all these old superstars in the head and Drew McIntyre coming out and showing his concern, there's no story arc there. There's no story arc. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. My man, Insane Goon, what is up? Thanks for joining the weekly recap. Ronda is awesome. Ronda is awesome. I would definitely like to see her come back at one point, but who knows when Ronda Rousey's going to come back and they do the 4 horsewomen, which would be interesting. But again, I think they already blew that opportunity for that to happen. Exactly. They had, hey, yay. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, Lucky Collectibles. They had Shawn Michaels looking terrible, so whack. They did. Again, they had him punted. They had Christian punted. The Big Show, they beat up all these guys. And I thought it was just absolutely, completely pointless. And it had nothing to do with them building up the story to Drew McIntyre. Unless they were going to have Randy Orton fight a old superstar, the Legend Killer versus the Legend, that would have made more sense. But I don't agree with this matchup against Drew McIntyre. That's just my thought about that. So take it as you want. So moving on from Raw to Impact Wrestling, I don't know how I don't know if a lot of you guys actually watch Impact Wrestling. I am watching Impact Wrestling because I actually Want to support Brian Myers. Again, another underutilized talent. Also, the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. I want to support those guys too, because again, those guys were totally mishandled in WWE, and they deserve it. They totally deserve it. I think hopefully they get the pushes that they deserve in Impact moving forward. I think it's great. Yeah. So with that being said, EC3 is back at Impact Wrestling. He's another guy, again, that WWE did not give a fair shake to. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes in Impact, even though he's been there before. I kind of like the storyline that they're building right now between him and Moose, where he is saying that he is building his narrative. Basically, is in a way is firing back at WWE, saying, hey, you're not going to control my character. I'm going to control my character. And I think that's freaking amazing. So I hope that story arc goes somewhere. I hope EC3 is able to regain whatever confidence he may have lost being under WWE management. Again, I think he was another one of those underutilized guys, which is really cool. So yeah, it definitely, obviously, the way this whole thing between him and Moose is going is leading up to a title match, since Moose is the Impact Wrestling champion. So we'll see how that goes. And then the other highlight from Impact that I want to talk about. So, Cellcom, you're right there with me, bro. You're right there with me. Give me 1 second, dude. So, the one thing I want to take away from Impact Wrestling, I only 2 things to talk about. This is the second thing. Was the Brian Myers promo. What a freaking awesome promo that was. It was basically him telling everybody that he's done letting everyone dictate his character, his direction, his story arc, whatever he's doing. He basically said, quote, "It disgusts me that major decisions in this business are made by some out-of-touch 70-year-old man." That was a total direct shot at Vince McMahon. It was blatant. There was no way around it. And I agree with Brian Myers. I agree with him. The direction that Vince McMahon is taking WWE is just destroying it. It is destroying it. So I'm glad that we're getting all these former WWE guys coming out now, going to different companies, and they're speaking up and they're telling their stories, and the word is getting out about what goes on. If you guys haven't, just off topic for a second, if you guys have not listened to Chris Jericho's podcast, where he had Dean Ambrose, aka John Moxley, on after he had left WWE, and basically told the stories about, what his daily interaction was like with Vince McMahon and how his stories would go, you can completely understand why he did not want to re-sign that contract with WWE. I mean, it's crazy. I totally agree with you, Jason. Myers has the skills. WWE just fired him. I agree. He is definitely one of the most underutilized wrestlers. I totally agree with that. I'm glad he's at Impact Wrestling. Hopefully he gets his chance. They give him a belt. They create a story around him, and he gets his shot, because he's totally deserving of that. Exactly. I would love to see Brian get his deserved shots. He was definitely underutilized a lot. So also, now that we're done with Impact, AEW was not on this week due to the NBA playoffs. It was actually on tonight, so I really don't have much to talk about AEW. However, the only thing I do want to say about AEW is it is really great. I definitely like the storylines. The characters are being really well developed. AEW is turning into like a must-watch show. Absolutely, AEW is turning into a must-watch show. If you guys aren't watching it, you need to watch it. I definitely like MJF. I think MJF is one of the great guys that they have that's really great on the microphone. Obviously, they've got Jericho. Obviously, they got Jon Moxley. Orange Cassidy is developing right now into a megastar. He is ready to blow and shine, and it's going to be awesome when they finally give him that opportunity, which they're doing right now. FTR is there now. They're stacked with tag teams. I mean, from Lucha, what is it? The Jurassic tag team. I forgot what the Jurassic Luchasaurus or whatever. I forgot what it's called. They also got, the Young Bucks. They got Best Friends. They've got tag teams for days. And it's great because tag team wrestling, in my opinion, is something kind of become something that's part of the past. It's not really, focused on heavily as much as it was back in the day. So I kind of like that. I definitely like, the fact that Cody has somewhat control over what is going on. I like how they bring in some of the veterans, how they have Matt Hardy there now, which is great. They have Brian Cage. Taz is there. I'm super, super excited that Matt Cardona is wrestling again, and he's in AEW. From what I read, though, his contract is only for technically like 5 appearances, if I read that correctly, with the option for them to re-sign him to a longer deal, which I hope he does re-sign to a longer deal, and I hope he gets his just dues and he gets a title shot and he wins and they give him a shot at actually defending the title after just one night of winning it at WrestleMania and then them they stripping him of it the next night. That was such bullshit. So we'll see what happens, but that's all I got for AEW right now. Jurassic Express. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I was losing my train of thought for a minute. Also, moving on from AEW, also on Wednesday night is NXT. The only thing I'm really interested in talking about with NXT is the Adam Cole, Pat McAfee match. That whole thing where Adam Cole was on Pat McAfee's show and Adam Cole blew up and he pushed the producer out of the way and all that stuff. I mean, you can tell that was such a work. And now obviously we all know it's a work because now they're having a match. And I gotta tell you, to be honest with you, Pat McAfee cut a promo Wednesday night on NXT. And for somebody that's not a professional wrestler, that has not been in the business, that was a damn good heel promo. He is definitely coming off as the heel in this match, where Adam Cole is definitely going to be the face, in my opinion. I hope Adam Cole beats the snot out of him, and he gives his just deserves. I have it right. I want to watch it right now, but I'm doing this live show with you guys. So Keith Lee is the man. He is definitely someone that they should definitely be very careful bringing along and not try to do another Roman Reigns push where they push him, where they just push him on everybody and then people get tired of him. So, yes, I know Cardona is great friends with Cody, so we knew that. McAfee did a really damn good in his first match. Well, don't spoil it for me, Daniel. I haven't watched it yet. I got to watch it. The match just finished. I won't spoil it, but damn, McAfee is good. Well, that's interesting. So maybe they might give him a contract and they might continue on this, this feud with him and Adam Cole, because honestly, it was a great work and Adam Cole is the freaking man. And I hope that continues on for Adam Cole. I'm just a little worried about when the time comes and contracts expire and people go their separate ways or they get brought up to the main roster. I mean, you just can't bring Adam Cole by himself up to the main roster. You have to bring the rest of the Undisputed Era with him. They are definitely one of the greater factions of this genre of wrestling we're in right now. But I get it. Keep Cole in NXT. There's a lot of guys that have to be kept in NXT because if they get brought up to the main roster, they're just going to get lost in the fray. So as far as NXT goes, that's all I really had to talk about. SmackDown. Did you guys watch SmackDown? last night, and the Thunderdome. Come on, the Thunderdome. It wasn't anything special. It's just what the NBA and other sports teams have been doing. They've been inserting fans either virtually or they're, they've got panoramic TV screens so the fans can watch, and the fans are actually looks like they're in the stands. So what is that? Give me your $350 Sentinel. Yeah, that's on another show. We're talking about wrestling right now, Eric. Yes, keep Johnny Wrestling also. Johnny Wrestling is another guy. Johnny Gargano is another guy that needs to stay down in NXT, and it sucks. I hate the fact that I have to say that they have to stay down in NXT because Triple H is a genius when it comes to NXT. He's great with the storylines, and I feel that it's great. I think it's great. I think NXT is a better product right now than Raw and SmackDown. And I'm sure most people would agree with me. So, Triple H is doing a good job. And I think it's time that Vince McMahon pulls back a little bit and let Triple H, take over the reins a little bit. So going back to the Thunderdome, what do you guys think about the Thunderdome? What do you guys think about Thunderdome? Did you guys like it? Did you like the experience? I don't really think too much of it. So, it's I just think it's another way for them to try to just get some kind of fan interaction in there, because in reality, their ratings have been dipping because they have no fans. Stop complaining about the Thunderdome stuff. It's silly, but they're trying to do the best with the world is giving zero. No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I wasn't a big fan of it. I just wasn't a big fan about it. Again, I understand they're trying to do what they can. They're trying to create the fan interaction, but it really, it just didn't do anything, I don't think. And on top of that, they had strict guidelines for people who were going to be involved on the screens. So, there's certain rules that they had to follow, so I don't, to me, that kind of takes the fun out of it, really. Obviously no inappropriate gestures, obviously what would have happened if they would have saw someone on there with an AEW t-shirt? They wouldn't have let that person on there. That's freedom of speech. But we get it. It's okay. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. AJ Styles loses the belt to Jeff Hardy the 2 days before SummerSlam? Really? Oh my God. So that whole thing was kind of set up when Retribution came out, when Braun and Bray were in the ring in the beginning. And then obviously Jeff Hardy hurt his knee. They did the whole thing where they reverted back and they showed that AJ Styles basically, chop blocked him in the back of the knee with a kick. And, but it's like, come on, man. It's like, really, AJ loses to Jeff Hardy. Again, they're giving these older guys, the push when they should be letting some of the younger guys get their shot. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. So now obviously there's going to be no Intercontinental match. There wasn't even an Intercontinental match set up for SummerSlam, but obviously after SummerSlam, the following week, they've got another pay-per-view, which is Payback, which obviously they're going to have AJ fight Jeff Hardy for the belt, and we'll see what happens. But man, it's like really? You're going to have him lose? I mean, come on. I mean, I rather would have had Daniel Bryan come back and AJ lose to Daniel Bryan. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't hate Jeff Hardy. I like Jeff Hardy. I'm all from the Attitude Era, with the tables, ladders, and chairs and all those matches. But it's like, you could have had someone else other than Jeff Hardy. They've got other guys in SmackDown that could definitely be a better draw, in my opinion, to watch. Like when AJ started that quick little feud that he had when they brought up Matt Riddle, that was great. They should have continued on with that. Matt Riddle should have been a guy to maybe take the belt from AJ. I thought that would have been a great angle for that to go. But, they again, WWE does not like to push the right guys. They say that they listen to the fans. Well, you know what? The fans talk all the time. The fans talk all the time, and no one listens. No one listens. What is up, Beast Slayer? Hardy wins and gets pushed. Yeah, Riddle and Gulak get pulled back. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just hard, man. It's just hard to watch some of these storylines and what they do with some of these guys. It's really tough. And again, there are some guys who've worked their tails off, and I guess, they feel like they deserve it. It's hard. It's really hard in my opinion. I'm not feeling it. The Bray versus Braun story right now is a little weird. It's a little confusing. Obviously they had that match and they, Bray took him to the swamp and the whole thing with that. And then Braun came out of the swamp and he's different now. And, his head shaved. He doesn't have his hair anymore. And, honestly, I can't tell who's the heel and who's the face going into this match. Is Braun the face or is he the heel? And the same thing with Bray. I can't tell the difference. You have Vince and Pritchard running the show. Welcome back to the 80s. Absolutely, Jason. I totally agree. They're talking. Actually, I read a rumor this morning that they're actually talking about removing Pritchard and having Shane McMahon be the head guy for Raw, which again, that's just another McMahon. It's just another McMahon. So I don't know if Shane's any better, but I don't know. Cellcom in their fourth match, Braun will face Husky Harris. Only reason Jeff won, probably because he's leaving or retiring soon and they want to have one last big run. Probably, that could be the case. Fernando, love the shirt, bro. That's right, CM Punk, because that's me, because I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world on YouTube, on this mic, on camera. I cut promos. My man, Kent Pool Live. What's up? My man, Kent Pool in the house. Braun is supposed to be the heel. The Fiend is the face. They did not execute it that well. Thank you, my man, The Nightmare. The Nightmare is one of my wrestling buddies that I talk to. However, guys, since this is the first episode, I just kind of wanted to establish it. Moving forward, the following weeks, I'm going to have someone on with me to make it more interesting. So, I'll definitely reach out to my wrestling friends and see who wants to come on and talk with me and, talk with you guys as well. Nothing is going to change. Vince is having the final say on everything. I agree, Giants. I agree. Nothing's ever going to change unless Vince McMahon dies. And you know what? It's only perfect and fitting that I'm wearing this CM Punk shirt. And when CM Punk dropped that pipe bomb, he said the world would be better off if Vince McMahon was just dead. And you know what? He's probably right. He was probably right. But he's not dead, so we're stuck dealing with the nonsense storylines. So the Friday Night Messiah. I am the Messiah of Friday nights. I have many monikers. Wrestling is real. Wrestling is real. People are fake. It's still real to me, damn it. Yes, I don't think that Punk will ever be back as much as I would love for CM Punk to come back. I'm sure that they would have to throw an exuberant amount of money at him to get him to come back. And obviously he would have to want to come back on his own terms. So, with that being said, guys, I kind of blew through all our topics. So now Seth Phillips, are you buying the Venom Pool wave? Yes, I am buying the Venom Pool wave, but we're talking wrestling right now. But I do appreciate you coming in and chatting with us. But yes, I am buying the Venom Pool wave. My man, the greatest name on YouTube, King Dingaling. What's up? So, guys, let's go ahead and I want to talk about SummerSlam now. I want to talk about my predictions, and I want to hear what you guys think is going to happen. So this is what I have. So we have Bray versus Braun, The Fiend versus the Monster Among Men. I think Bray's going to win. I think Alexa Bliss is going to have something to do with that. She's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, Ken Poole, you did miss the Thunderdome talk. So, sorry, man. I believe Bray's going to win. I believe Alexa Bliss is going to come out. Something's going to happen, and it's going to cause Braun to lose, and The Fiend will be the new champion. What do you guys think? Who do you got, Bray or Braun? Let's see it in the chat. Bray or Braun? What do we got? Alexa will run Braun over with the ambulance. I like that. That's a good one. The Fiend with Sister Abigail. Yeah, maybe they might be setting Alexa Bliss up to be Sister Abigail. Who knows? Troll Patrol is saying Braun. So we've got a couple of Brays. We got the Fiend. We got Otis. Otis isn't even in that match, bro. Come on. I believe it's going to be boring, but Braun will keep the belt. All right. It could be interesting. We got Bray. We got a lot of people voting for Bray. So I agree. You know, some of the chat agrees with me. I think Bray is going to win. And again, I think Alexa Bliss will definitely have some hand involved with that. Braun power slams the Fiend through the moon. All right, guys. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. To me, that's a no-brainer. Drew McIntyre is going to win. Drew McIntyre is going to win. I don't think Randy Orton's going to win. I think they're just they were using Randy Orton as a filler until some of the other main roster guys come back that can fight Drew. Yeah, so I don't really see that going that far. I think Drew wins in pretty convincing fashion with a Claymore kick out of nowhere, and Randy Orton doesn't win. I mean, but they have been building Randy up, you know, and they have mentioned Ric Flair's record, so it could go either way. But my money's on Drew. So we got Fernando saying Drew. We got a bunch of people saying Otis cashes in on Bray or Braun. That'll be funny. It's false count anywhere now. RKO punt. Yeah, Troll Patrol's in here screaming about Hot Toys, bro. You know what you're talking about. Just finished watching AEW here late. No problem, Toy Cartel. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. We got Drew. We got Randy. I feel like Randy, but I don't know why. Again, like I said, Drew, as much as I would like Randy to hit the record. I know, Ken Poole, because it's funny because they mentioned the record. They mentioned it. And you know, it could be interesting. I mean, for the longest time, people thought John Cena was going to be the guy to break the record, and I'm kind of glad he wasn't. You know, at one point, I even thought that they were going to let Triple H break it, because if anybody should break it, it should almost certainly be Triple H, because he is definitely, you know, someone who is a student of Ric Flair, and to me that would have been okay. I would have been okay with that. God, I hope Randy doesn't get the win. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to think about that if Randy gets the win. You the chosen one, Drew. That's right, since he's the new chosen one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. I hope the Street Profits win. I really don't like Andrade or Garza. I'm not quite exactly liking that storyline, how Selena Vega poisoned Montez Ford. To me, that was just kind of like, really? That's where you're going with that? So I hope that the Street Profits win. I'm not quite exactly a fan of either tag team, but I would definitely like to see the Street Profits win. What do we got going on right now? Going to see Seth versus Drew next. me versus Drew McIntyre? No, I don't want no part of that. I don't want to get Claymore kicked. That's right. We want the smoke. Edge return. Edge is not coming back anytime soon, Jason. He tore that what is it? His leg? Well, I don't remember what he tore, but there is definitely some recovery time involved in that, and I don't think we're going to see him anytime soon with that. Seth bomb. We want the smoke. It makes sense for Orton to break Flair's record. It kind of does. It kind of does. It looks like we've got more of the Street Profits, people are saying, than Andrade and Angel Garza. But again, it's WWE. You never know. Vince McMahon has a straight knack for changing up the storylines at the last minute. So, we're saying Street Profits. I'm hoping it's Street Profits. But as well as I do, anything can happen like that. And then next thing you know, Angel Garza and Andrade are the tag team champs. So now here is an interesting pick. So Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Dominic Mysterio's first match in a WWE ring versus Seth Rollins, the Messiah of Monday nights. There is not a question in the back of my mind that I don't think for not a hot second that Seth Rollins is going to win that match. Seth Rollins is totally going to win that match 100%. Hulk for the win. I totally think that Seth Rollins is going to beat Dominic. I think what's going to happen is that you will definitely see some of the wrestling capabilities that Dominic has. It might be a showcase maybe, or a tryout, really, in my opinion, to see how he gets, if he gets over, how his technical ability is perceived, his ring awareness, all those things that go into, being a professional wrestler. I just don't think that to have the son of Rey Mysterio beat Seth Rollins works for Seth Rollins' character. I think Jason brought it up in the beginning when we were talking about this, that I think Aleister Black might come out. Someone has to get involved. I don't think, because Rey Mysterio and Murphy are both going to be at ringside. I don't know exactly how that's going to unfold, but I definitely think that Rollins is definitely going to take that match. Dom turns on Rey after he costs him the match. The Legends is the AEW as managers is a very smart move. I hate that match. Overkill. I agree, man. I totally agree. But I think Rollins is going to win. I don't think they're going to make Rollins lose. They have invested way too much in Rollins for him to lose to a new up and comer. So that's how I feel about that. Apollo Crews versus MVP. So for those of my friends and viewers and everybody watching right now, if you were back in the 90s when they were doing the Attitude Era and they had the Nation of Domination, I kind of feel like I'm getting that same vibe from MVP and the Hurt Business. I feel like they're trying to make a new nation, and it's MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. Obviously they tried to get Cedric involved. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So I think that MVP is probably going to wind up beating Apollo Crews. That's my pick. I think there's going to be some kind of interference from probably Cedric, Alexander, Bobby Lashley, or Shelton Benjamin, and it's going to wind up costing Apollo Crews the match, and MVP is going to win, but that's how I feel about it. Roberto, I think Rollins is going to lose only because he's due for a break, so he might take it, especially since Becky is going to give birth in December. That could also be very true, Roberto. I did not think about that. The Nightmare, I feel Seth will put Dom over. Seth specifically chose him out of a long list. Very true. Kempool, We Are the Nation. Another one, MVP should go away. I agree. I feel that they should again stop recycling old storylines and old story arcs. Again, especially since they're moving forward in a PG era, and especially where people and topics and subjects, races, nationalities, creeds, genders, all types of things are on a very sensitive level right now. So I don't know if bringing like a somewhat of a nation of domination thing is appropriate right now for the time that we're in. I mean, who knows? Again, everybody's sensitivity level is on high. Yes, you cannot replace The Rock as the leader, even though at one point it was actually Farouk. Farouk was the leader. I love The Rock. Best quotes ever. That is absolutely 100%. The Rock was definitely one of the best on the mic to ever grace the ring. I thought it was fantastic. It was great. I always love when they have him come back for these little small things, but it's great. Hey, Danny, how you doing? So, again, guys, Apollo Crews or MVP? Who do you guys got? Who do you got? Apollo Crews or MVP? Hello, does anybody know a site to buy clear protective display for carded defining moments figures? Ooh. I don't know. Everyone's offended. Exactly, Danny. You can't listen. You even look at somebody the wrong way today, and somebody gets upset. I mean, but again, it's just the era that we're living in. And the sensitivity is at an all-time high. So, Apollo. So we got Quack on Crack voting for Apollo. We got the Nightmare saying MVP. We got Jeff Levine snore. Who cares? I know, man. I'm sorry. Owen Hart was the Nation. LOL. He was in the Nation at one point. They let him in. All right, guys. So the other match, we got 3 more matches to talk about, and then we're pretty much going to wrap it up. We have Asuka fighting Sasha Banks and Bayley in back-to-back matches. I think this is the way of them creating the feud for Sasha Banks and Bayley, for them to feud and fight. My money is on Bayley losing the belt to Asuka, and then Asuka losing to Sasha Banks, and then next thing you know, Bayley and Sasha Banks are having a match. So I'm going to have Asuka beating Bayley, but I'm going to have her losing to Sasha Banks. What do you guys think? I got to check my phone because there is a hell of a delay on my end seeing those comments. Banks and Bayley going over. You think Nightmare? You think? Seth, I think you should do some wrestling toys on this show. I was thinking about it, man. I was honestly thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure. Fernando is saying Asuka 2 belts. You think Asuka's going to win both matches? I don't know. I think Asuka's going to win one of the belts, and I think that's going to start that feud between Banks and Bayley that obviously we could see building for for the past couple of weeks happening. So that's just how I feel about it. Asuka beats Sasha and Otis cashes in on her. No one is ready for Asuka. That's funny. Asuka beats Sasha and Otis cashes in on her. I think that's funny. What else do we got? You guys, any more predictions coming in? Nope. I think we're good on that. Okay. Sasha for the win. No one is ready for Asuka. I agree with the Troll Patrol. It can happen. All right. And then the last match is the Mandy Rose versus the Sonya Deville. It's a hair versus hair match. Mandy is totally going to win that match. Mandy is totally going to win that match. There is no way that they are going to let Mandy have to cut her hair. Mandy is definitely one of the female wrestlers that they definitely are high on and they want to push. And of course, we all know, in WWE, the better, especially with the women, the better the look, the better the push you get. So, and that's just always Vince McMahon's method of doing things. So I personally think that Mandy will win and Sonya will wind up losing. Jeff Levine, I agree with you. Mandy Rose for the win and the Playboy cover. Career versus career. Is that what they changed it to? Because I thought it was hair versus hair. We are in a delay, Seth. Slow down. Oh, I did not know you guys were in a delay. Let me find out what's going on with that delay. It changed. It's not hair versus hair anymore. Oh, come on. For real? That's lame. That's lame. It's who leaves WWE now, Seth. No more hair. That's interesting. That's really interesting that they're going to do that. Jesus. It's an I quit match. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Love your video, Seth. 2003 through 2007 SmackDown was the shit when I was growing up. Rip Eddie Guerrero. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those early 2000s of SmackDown were great. It's now a no DQ, loser leaves. Oh, man. That sucks. That sucks. COVID delay. Wow. That sucks. I thought it was still the hair versus hair match, but whatever. So I'm going to go with Mandy Rose. I think they're going to give Mandy the push, especially since they still have her technically with Otis. I don't think they would do that to Otis. So yeah, I think Sonya will wind up probably losing that. So Eddie forever. Viva la raza, Latino heat. Mandy is starting a yoga thing, so she will go. Really? Okay, well, maybe that's interesting. So we'll see what happens. So, guys, that is my predictions for SummerSlam. Don't forget, it's on tomorrow night. 7 o'clock is the start time. WWE Network, if you have it, go check it out. Also, be sure you watch wrestling throughout the week so we can have more chats. Next week's episode, I will have a guest on. I'm going to reach out to some of my wrestling buddies and see who wants to hop on and join with me and talk about wrestling. Guys, I definitely want to cut it now. Thanks for joining me on this first ever episode of Weekly Wrestling Recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for the great turnout. I didn't think I was going to get more than 20 people, to be honest with you, so we got 40 people watching. So thank you guys. You guys are the best, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, so we'll be coming at you with more videos during the week on MCE. Again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And guys, next time I will see you while I'm jumping off the top ropes and dropping that elbow on the Weekly Wrestling Report. So have a good night, guys, and enjoy SummerSlam.